Friends, pray with me this November 22nd. Lord, open my lips so that my mouth may proclaim your praise with gratitude. I offer the reading, Psalm 83, written by Dwight Wilson. I heard your voice as I sat inside my loneliness. You reminded me I was not alone. From being divided from my courage, I found my own powerful voice. You are not a leaf, a green leaf blown by the slightest breeze. You are the untamed wind itself. In finding my original wildness, I am reunited with the One. Well, in our Sunday morning worship together here, I hope we find ourselves heading into a beautiful week. The winds here in North Carolina are quite impressive, which we were all reminded of as we all took stock of the ways the wind shook the trees in November and in October. Some trees moved with the winds with no difficulty. Others, like our great pin oak outside the meeting house, shed branches and limbs that were ready to go. Still others, like one outside of Ellen Ramsey's home, were brought to the ground. And we are thankful that Ellen suffered no damage to herself, her home, or her car. Thankfulness is like that, isn't it? Some folks have a habit of being thankful for avoiding disaster. Others are thankful for the times when we experience the mystery of love, the presence of God. Is God's presence a thunderbolt for you? For me, God's presence is a felt love, and my gratitude, my thankfulness is a learned practice. I give thanks for you, for friends this day. Over the past weeks, I've had the opportunity to visit with friends in their own homes, friends in friends' homes. A warm moment has been to be able to visit with Eugenia Perkins and her granddaughter, Jenny, during a compassionate care call. Eugenia was so delighted to visit with her granddaughter, beaming as she declared that it had been an age since she last had a face-to-face visit. We know that the beauty of visiting with one another face-to-face is a joy. We also know that we are taking special care of one another and keeping our distance right now during this pandemic. Many are finding ways to plan holiday visits that are safe and connected, even if less than ideal. I found myself wondering again about the nature of gratitude. Gratitude has been a focus of world religions. And the root word of this for us is gratos, meaning pleasing or thankful. It has a sense of relationship between the giver and receiver, and there's a mutuality, there is a relationship. Gratitude is one of the most powerful prayer practices in our tradition. In gratitude, we reunite with wonder and with awe. In a 2018 Friends Committee on National Legislation article written by Anna McCormally, we hear this: what would society look like if we embraced gratitude, not just privately in journals or prayer practices, but as a civic practice? What if we held community forums to share our thanks with essential workers? How about offering public acts of gratitude? What if our public policy was based in gratitude rather than scarcity? What if we held conversations about the nature of our economy and how we might foster a different index of prosperity, one based on sharing rather than accumulation only? McCormally wondered if we might be able to build a society in which the values are expressed in a radically different way, that the values expressed are radically compassionate. And what would our society look like if we embraced gratitude. Mystic and theologian Meister Eckhart had been a voice for embracing the indwelling God and for expressing gratitude. He wrote an oft-quoted statement, which I love and use often myself. The eye with which I see God is the same eye with which God sees me. As friends, we recognize that seeing God within each of us is a part of our tradition. This has often been seen as suspect by those who want to judge other people, those who refuse to acknowledge the presence of the divine in all persons, not just the people we like. It is the mindset of judgment to take a narrow view. It is the mindset of judgment to neglect gratitude. And we can feel so very alone with changes in an already fraught environment, pushing us to protect our feelings and perhaps to make small boxes in our minds. And in this reading today, we hear friend Dwight Wilson, who will be joining us and sharing a message in December. I'm very excited to introduce Dwight to you all. So in the reading, we hear Dwight Wilson naming the Holy One as the untamed wind itself. How might we find the ground of our being? I give thanks for the image brought by the reading today. As we sit in this time, we may have difficulty hearing God's voice and may even have a sense we're not experiencing our own voice. Eugenia, for instance, is a wonder to me. On the day of our visit, we thought we could find this friend, age 106, not well at all, and in physical distress. Instead, as we walked into her room, she was getting ready to get up and take a walk, her hair freshly coiffed, her dress carefully chosen. But Eugenia did tell us, she did share that she had felt so lonely and so cut off since the start of the pandemic, and she felt the lack of face-to-face contact was almost like a feeling of being divorced from us all. And we've exchanged letters, held window visits, but the aching loneliness for three-dimensional contact was profound. And we asked her, how has she managed through these many months? And she said she was so grateful for her life in God, grateful that friends' homes and caregivers were attentive to her. And her resilience is grounded in her faith and love of God. And now those of you who know this friend would agree that she is pragmatic. Her lived experience of gratitude serves her well and preserves her. And gratitude can be contagious. When we offer thanks, genuine thanks, not just the thoughtless tossing off of a casual word, thanks. Well, when we offer genuine thanks, we feel differently. Those nearby to that kind of giving of thanks often offer a thank you right back. Those mirror neurons in our brains respond when like calls to like, when light calls to light, deep calls to deep. We're made this way. And when Jen Perkins and I left our visit with her grandmother, we were tearful. We felt blessed, and we felt deep gratitude for a moment which seemed deeply sacred and very precious. And this is no cheap grace, not an insincere air kiss or platitude I'm talking about. This is a reality that some people call grace. This form of gratitude allows us to hold one another accountable for meaningful forms of sharing our energy, resources, time, and talent. This is a radical root for our Christian faith. Jesus showed us that gratitude, service, forgiveness are the foundation of the kingdom. This is an entirely different organization design. It's not a pyramid with someone at the top or a top god pushing or manipulating those below. Rather, the better image is a flat table, a common table where we all gather with upfront, honest speaking, compassionate listening, And this is a vast spiritual plane where grace is freely given and no repayment expected. Grace invites all of us to the table where we are reminded we are not alone. We are not divorced from courage, nor are we asked to squelch our own powerful voices. We are invited to join in the untamed wind of the Holy Spirit, wild and united in the one. And here I quote that wild friend, George Fox. "Oh, sing and rejoice, you children of the day and of the light, for the Lord is at work on this thick time of darkness that may be felt. And truth flourishes as the rose, and the lilies do grow among the thorns, and the plants atop the hills, and upon them the lambs do skip and play. And never heed the tempests nor the storms, floods nor rains, for the seed of Christ is over all and reigns." Here are 2 queries for your time of prayer and meditation. In what ways do we practice forms of gratitude? And in what ways do we as a faith community ensure a regular practice of gratitude?